Ukrainian citizens, they are ready to continue to fight for the independence and integrity. Because if Putin doesn't stop here, he would go further. This is direct threat to European security. Well, I think that the talks may lead to resolvement of some technical issues, important issues like humanitarian issues or exchange of prisoners, but I do not believe that they may lead to the real ceasefire, not to say about final peace. They're using it as a bargaining tool, and the second is they are trying to show the goodwill. So they're bombarding Ukraine, but at the same time they saying, look, we are doing exchange of prisoners, so we are ready to continue negotiations. But in reality, bombardments continue. Well, actually it reveals what Russia wants. So Russia would like to increase pressure and to get concessions, strategic concessions from Ukraine. I mean occupation of the whole Donbas area, where main Ukrainian fortifications are situated. So this is the pressure from Russia during talks. Well, I would say it's not so about military, it's about, pressuring civilians, because we live in the situation when we do not have electricity. For example, I'm coming from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. 18 hours of the day we do not have electricity, which means without heating, without water, and this is in time of winter, and we have winter minus 15 degrees. So can you imagine the situation? So I would say that this is first of all pressure on citizens. But recent polls show that it doesn't work. Ukrainian citizens, they are ready to continue to fight for the independence and integrity. Well, official American position is they're neutral and they're playing the role of mediator, but I would say that unfortunately the US buys some Russian narratives, unfortunately. Well, American support is important if we are talking about modern weapons, but also intelligence data. So now the United States not providing arms to Ukraine for free. Actually, these American weapons are bought by Europeans for Ukraine. Okay, but the most important, I would say, for Ukraine is intelligence data. So it's very important that the US will continue to share intelligence data with Ukraine. Look, so first of all, let's think what Trump said at the very beginning. He said, we need ceasefire. If there would be no agreement from Ukraine and Russia, we would put pressure on both sides. So we see pressure on Ukraine, we do not see enough pressure on Russia. So Ukraine immediately agreed to full ceasefire. Russia doesn't. Russia continued to bombardment Ukraine, not only in military ways, but as I said, civic and energy infrastructure. So I think that there's a lot of good words from the United States about, pressuring Russia to stop the war, but there's not enough efforts to do that. I think that Europe understands now that how Ukraine is important for European security. So now they are trying, to increase support to Ukraine in military ways. But I would say that they lost 4 years, so they're not prepared enough to do that. At the same time, we really appreciate what Europeans are doing now, and we appreciate economic support and financial support to Ukraine. That's really important, because recently they provided $90 billion for 2 years for Ukraine. This is important for Ukrainian economy. I would say this is not about American-European relations. Europe now understands importance of Ukraine being independent and secure. Why? Because if Putin doesn't stop here, he would go further. This is direct threat to European security. That's why they're trying to increase support to Ukraine, while Trump, as I have said, he's taking the middle position and buying some Russian narrative.